If you work in regulated care, you know that constant pressure of compliance. It can really feel like you're putting out the same fires over and over again. Well, today, we're going to break down a framework that's all about moving beyond that firefighting mode and into a system for real, sustainable success.
First things first, let's talk about the problem that so many organizations get stuck in. We call it the compliance trap. And it's this frustrating, often kind of invisible cycle that keeps really good teams from doing their best work.
So does this whole cycle of feelings and, well, not so great outcomes, does it ring a bell? It's a story we hear all the time, and it usually starts with just a single worry you can't seem to shake.
That one little worry, it grows into this constant anxiety, or maybe an overwhelming sadness, even burnout. You're doing your best, you really are, but the pressure is just immense. The emotional toll of compliance stress is no joke. It's incredibly draining. And a huge part of the problem is often the systems we're forced to use. That feeling of being totally isolated? It's so common when your whole quality assurance and performance improvement program is just trapped in binders on a shelf. It ends up being you against a mountain of paper, with zero collaboration or real-time feedback.
And the inevitable result of all that worry and all that isolated work? It's pretty clear. Repeat deficiencies on your surveys. You're stuck. You're in the trap. You fix one problem only to have another one pop up because the underlying system never actually changed.
So, how in the world do we get out of this mess? Well, the first step is just admitting that the old way isn't cutting it anymore. It is absolutely time to think beyond the binder.
This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? That paper-based loop is the problem. But you know what? Realizing that opens up a pretty powerful question. What does that clear path forward actually look like?
That path forward needs a structured approach. This isn't about just working harder. It's about working smarter, with a clear framework that's actually designed for meaningful, lasting change.
And here it is. The whole framework boils down to 3 simple but really powerful words: assess, remediate, and sustain. And look, this isn't just a philosophy. It's a sequence of actions designed to break that compliance trap for good.
Okay, so let's see how this 3-word idea actually builds out into a real system that you can use.
Those 3 steps we just talked about, they are built directly into a single unified digital system. Each part has a very specific job. You've got an assessment dashboard for discovery, a remediation portal for taking action, and a community hub to make sure that success sticks around. So here's the crucial part. It's how these first 2 steps work together. First, you assess. You use real data to get an honest, objective picture of what's going on. No more guesswork. Then, you remediate. And this isn't just patching holes. We're talking about using evidence-based plans to make deep, structural improvements. It's that 1-2 punch of diagnosis and cure.
But hey, fixing a problem one time is not enough, right? That's where sustain comes in. And this is the step that truly breaks the cycle. It creates these continuous feedback loops, using tools like forums and surveys to keep everybody engaged and accountable. And by tracking your improvement over time, you build a culture where positive changes aren't just a one-off event. They become the new normal.
So now that you've seen how this all fits together, there's a really clear, logical place to start for any organization that wants to escape the compliance trap. And it all begins with that very first word, assess.
Because let's be honest, you can't fix a problem that you don't fully understand. Real, lasting change can only happen when you have absolute clarity on your organization's strengths and, maybe even more importantly, its challenges. And that is exactly why the single most powerful first step you can take is to request a free, no-obligation organizational assessment. It's the starting point for getting that clarity and for building your own path forward. Getting started is really simple. You can reach out directly on our website, you can shoot us an email, give us a call, or even connect on LinkedIn. Just choose whatever method works best for you. The most important thing is just taking that first step. So at the end of the day, remember these 3 words: assess, remediate, sustain. This is more than just a mantra. It's your roadmap out of the compliance trap. The only question left is, are you ready to take step 1?